as we know, Errol Spence Jr. is lining it up with Sebastian Fedora in April. The date has not been definite. At least I don't think so. Uh, Sebastian Fedora is the current WBO, the WBO and the WBC belt holder. Okay, and the WBO has already came out and said that they're not recognizing Errol Spence as a title contender. So what happens is what happens if Errol Spence wins this fight against Fedora? Well, what happens is Spence would be the WBO will be taken from Spence, given it to Terence Crawford because Crawford is the WBO interim title holder, and the WBC will go to Errol Spence. So Spence will be the WBC 154-pound champ. Terence Crawford would then be the WBO and WBA belt holder. And then the IBF belongs to Murtazaliev. Okay, so is this what we would call Terence Crawford being crafty? You know, crafty way to become undisputed. When you really think about it, I had to think about that today. Because he letting Errol Spence and Fedora settle whatever they got to settle. So that would mean he don't have to jump in there and take any unnecessary damage against Fedora. If Fedora loses, then he just loses. He don't got to worry about fighting Fedora. If Spence wins, Spence gets the WBC and doesn't get the WBO. And then Terence Crawford is pretty much given the WBO. So it's almost like Errol Spence beats Fedora. He kind of like did Terence Crawford a favor. Kind of like went and pretty much fought for a belt to give to Crawford. Like he pretty much fought for Crawford in a sense, if you were to look at it that way. And then that would mean that's an easier way for Crawford to get 3 belts, because that would line up a fight between Errol Spence and Crawford again at 154 this time, rematch. Then Bud, more than likely he will beat Errol Spence again in a rematch. Bud will be unified WBO, WBA, and WBC champion. That's crazy, right? And then the only belt that he would have to go after is the IBF, assuming Murtazaliev still has it at the time. And then there goes your undisputed. Now, a lot of people will say, well, damn, man, that's like that's a soft way of trying to go around. That's a coward way of, I can hear it now, from the dudes that don't like Bud. Like, well, that's a sucker way of trying to get the belts. Well, they would be saying that if that was Errol Spence. You know how that works. But I had to think about it, to be real. That is a crafty way for Terence Crawford to get his hands on pretty much 2 belts easily. Because I think he'll easily beat Spence again, and then that WBO will be put in his hands. So it seems like the path for unification, the easiest way would be through Errol Spence right now for Terence Crawford, if that's what he's trying to do. That's crazy. Look how it's lining up. So it looks like Errol Spence is being used almost as like a vehicle for Terence Crawford to get his hands on 2 belts, pretty much with ease, if you really think about it that way. And then the only one that would probably be a challenge would be the Murtazaliev, the IBF. I have to watch a little bit more about some more Murtazaliev fights to see if that would be a hard fight for Terence Crawford. I don't think it should be, though. I think the Madrimov was a little bit more difficult because of his movement. Murtazaliev is not really, he's going to be there to get hit more than Madrimov. So, but his power is real, though. So you got that power with Murtazaliev is a thing. You feel me? Bud got to worry about. But ain't that interesting how things work? Spence is pretty much trying to get belts, trying to get back into some sort of relevance. But he don't even, it's pretty much a easy way for Bud to get belts, bro. Errol Spence. That's crazy. But let me know how y'all feel about that, man. This is your boy, Rebel Light Boxing. I'll catch y'all in the next one. And I'm off this.